talk about the enrollment process, which is likely what you guys are mainly here for, because it's the next step that you're collecting all the documents for. And then we'll just share a little bit more about what to expect with the visa process to help prepare you for that journey. So welcome. There are 29 of you who are traveling to Spain this September. It could be a variety of terms, a lot of academic year, a lot of semester, and our trimester students as well. So trimester students, as just a reminder, you do still have to go through the enrollment document process, but you do not have to go through the visa process. That is only for our semester and academic year students. Our webinar yesterday really touched on our program goals. Our main goal here and our mission for CIEE is to humanize international relations and foster peace through that intercultural exchange, through immersion in the culture, and through language acquisition. So we're all here for the same reason, and you guys are going to be future leaders and kind of really stand out compared to your other classmates at your current high school. It's about 3% of students study abroad in high school, so you guys are definitely brave and unique, and your parents are also brave for sending you on such an amazing adventure this coming fall. So just a little refresher on who we are. I'm Emily. I'm the enrollment coordinator for our Midwest kids. I am sadly departing, but Allie is incredible. She's going to be taking great care of you guys, so I have no doubt that you guys will feel supported these next couple of months. Miga's also on the call this evening. She's our enrollment coordinator on the West Coast. And Rachel Malinowski, she is our enrollment coordinator on the East Coast. So you guys should know who we are by now. And you know how to get in contact with us. Our last slide is we'll have a QR code to join our office hours. So that's a good opportunity to share your screen, and especially in this process, confirm that you have all the right things. So yeah. And Raquel's on the call as well. She is our former director of the program in Spain, and she is a wealth of knowledge. We're so happy to have her with us tonight and have her as an asset to our team on the daily. And so we pick her brain a lot with this specific process, with the visa process, with information about the academics in Spain, because it is so different from what we experience here in the US. So we're happy to have her. She's going to share a little bit about Baccalaureate, about 11th grade, and during this presentation, so it will help with your understanding of school placements and all that. And our team in Spain is, our program coordinator is Claudia. She is most likely the person that you are doing your meet and greets with. So hopefully by now you've had the chance to meet her. If you haven't scheduled your meet and greet yet, please do so you have the pleasure of meeting Claudia and meeting her soon, because that's a really good time to get to know, again, a little bit more about the program, about expectations with the homestay, for her to get to know more about you as a student, your preferences, your language level. That will really impact your placement. So be sure to schedule that and reach out to your enrollment coordinator if you haven't done so yet, or you need the link to schedule that. And Miss Elena Brown is our director now in Spain. She helps a lot through the placement process and making sure we have all the right documents, as Allie mentioned before. might be a new step for the team in Spain to have another document with the enrollment process. So they all manage that together, making sure they have everything to place you guys. All right, so our agenda for today, gonna break the ice a little bit, just to get to know each other. You guys are gonna know each other really well this coming year or next couple months. So just want to break the ice. We're going to go over your reading resources, of course, all the enrollment documents. We're going to touch on school structure in Spain, I mentioned, just to help you better understand the documents that you need. And then we'll go into the visa process and documents that we provide, just because whenever you get those in the mail, they will be in Spanish. And so you're probably going to be looking at them like wondering what these words are. And then documents that you will prepare. We'll touch on flights again just to follow up with those expectations, what to expect the next couple months, and so on. And then we'll end with questions that you guys have. All right, so this is my favorite because I get to hear from you guys. So what are you guys most excited about in your coming experience? Feel free to just drop it in the chat, or you can unmute if you'd like.
I am the most very excited about going to Spain just to, I don't know, immerse myself in something completely new and different and challenge my comfort zone. And I just really hope that there's no alligators, but yeah.
Raquel, are there alligators? Are there alligators?
Alligators? Is that Florida? No. The alligators in Spain? No, other than their Lacoste sweater, whatever, polo.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No, there are no alligators. Is that what you're afraid of? No, you're not going. That's Florida for spring break when you go to college. No.
I'm really excited to be going to Spain because, like he said, I really want to immerse myself in a new culture. I'm really excited to just meet new people and see new places and learn more about myself in doing that.
Thank you for sharing.
I'm really excited to be in a new place and to get better at Spanish and make some friends along the way.
Yes.
I'm really excited to go to Spain because I've already been there and I fell in love with it. Sorry for the voice. I'm coming off of sickness. It's a whole thing. And I love the Spanish language and I think it's so interesting.
Awesome.
I'm excited to immerse myself for a longer period of time than I have in the past, because this past January I was in Zaragoza for a trimester, and I'm excited to spend a longer time there for a full year.
Yes. Annie, are you talking? I can't hear you at least.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm just really excited to travel. I've never been to Europe before, and I'm like, I've kind of been in the same place for a really long time, and I'm just like, I just want kind of like be somewhere else for a while, and I'm also really excited to see if I can like play soccer there.
That'd be amazing. Get out of your comfort zone. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for sharing. I feel like
there's a ton in the chat too, Emily.
Yeah.
There's so many.
I
love
love
to
that.
see it.
Sometimes you guys are shy, and I like that you're sharing your excitement because it makes us feel more excited for you. Cool. Well, continue to add into the chat if you have anything else to say. But I'm going to move on. Alrighty, so your reading resources. Hopefully you've all had the chance to look at these amazing resources that our team works on every single year to update, make sure they have the newest information. There are really great There's really great information about the academics, what to expect with the school system, what core classes you will most likely be taking, what optional classes there are that you might be placed in. On the visa guide, it's really helpful with at least getting you started and finding what consulate you'll be going to, what documents we're going to go over at length today, but also the documents that you'll expect from our staff in Spain, when that process takes place. And we also have the school enrollment guide, which we'll be talking about today. But if you have to refer back, utilize these resources because we do take a lot of time in making sure that they're accurate, that they're helpful. And these are the resources that we use and we reference to help you with your questions a lot of the time. So just with kind of starting with that idea of gaining independence for you as students and becoming responsible for the program that you are participating in, do your due diligence and making sure that you're reviewing these documents, double checking. If something's different or you're confused or anything like that, we're here to help you guys and we're happy to do so. But again, these are really great resources to review. And I believe parents have access. Yes, parents do have access to all these readings as well. So you have your student portal, but you also have your legal guardian portal to review those. So you don't have to keep bugging your student about your login. So you can look at all this amazing content. Alrighty, so into the fun stuff, our enrollment document process. So for the enrollment documents, you have to get these documents notarized and apostilled. A notarization you are probably familiar with. You could go to the post office to get a notarization. It's basically the notary saying that this is an official document. They've reviewed it with you together. The apostilled kind of takes it a step further with making sure that the document is official in an international sense. So the team abroad, the schools abroad, the government abroad, whoever we're sharing these forms with, recognize this as an official document. The documents that you need are your academic transcripts, the parent authorization form, a copy of your passport as a student, and a copy of your legal guardian's passport. And if they don't have a passport, the ID card. And for the passport and for both the passports for the participant and the legal guardian, those do need to be scanned in color. They cannot be black and white. They must be in color. Backing up to the parent authorization form, this is what it looks like. This form is found on the school enrollment guide document in the reading section of your application. So whenever you open the school enrollment guide, you can download that PDF and then you'll be able to open the hyperlink that is the parent authorization form. And it has a Spanish version and it has an English version. The English version is so, you know what it's saying? If you visit a notary that doesn't speak English, they know what this document is saying. So they can notarize, and they should notarize both the Spanish and the English form. they cannot only do the English form, they also have to do the Spanish form, because it's not much use to everybody in Spain that speaks Spanish if the form is not notarized. The Spanish form isn't notarized. So please make sure you get the notarization to do that. After this form is notarized, you'll get it apostilled. And to get it apostilled, you can search for apostille on your state government's website and follow the instructions there. It's a different process depending on what state you live. I know some states can do like a walk-in and drop off their documents to be apostilled, and pick it up a couple weeks later. There's other states that ask you to mail those in, and so on. So do your research, find the apostille process on your state government's website, and just follow those instructions. Once that, I think I hear, no, okay, I thought I heard somebody starting a question. Okay, so once
Actually, I have a question, sorry.
Yeah.
So I thought the apostilles happen, that doesn't happen in Spain. We have to get something notarized and apostilled in the States before we send it over to
Yes,
Spain.
that is right.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Can I just add, Emily, just to this paper form,
Yes.
like, as you said, it's very important, you know, that in special, the important document is the one in Spanish, because it's the one that the Spanish government, you know, and the Spanish schools are going to look at. They don't understand what it says in the other one. Make sure the information is correct and make sure that it is signed and it has, you know, the notary seal, and it doesn't look like, I know this sounds stupid, but it's like, it doesn't look like a 2-year-old did it, because it's like sometimes they're very skeptical about, you know, like notaries in Spain are very different than the ones in the US. You know, in Spain, they have to go through this, like, it's like a super lengthy, not disregarding the US notaries, but I know it's quite easy to be a notary, and, you know, they just put a stamp. Whereas in Spain, it's this big, you know, I don't know how long, but it's like, I know people who study for like 10 years, and it's this, you know, basically you are like a judge, you know, it's like really high up. So when they see something that it looks like not official, or kind of like a 2-year-old did it, they're like, look at you, like, who did this? Like, what is this? You know, they don't believe that that is actually from a notary. So anyway, just noting that.
Thank you, Raquel. Yes, and also make a copy of this before you send it off. So for your records, we'll also ask for scanned copies of these to upload onto your My CIEE account. So we have them handy if for any reason we need them again. So be sure to do that, make copies. And once you mail these, I mentioned before, there might be different processes for the different states, but if you do have to go through the process of mailing the notarized copies of these forms to the Secretary of State to get the apostille, you will need to include the payment for the apostille in that envelope. So make sure that you're, again, reviewing that process and you have the payment in whatever method they prefer with that envelope sent for your Secretary of State for the apostille. Okay, I'm going to move on. This is what an apostille looks like, just for your eyes. It looks a little bit different, I will say, depending on the state, but just like in general, this is a good idea of what it looks like. And usually it's stapled on the top. There's usually 2 staples. So it reads like kind of like a clipboard, and you can flip through the other pages. And it's really important that you don't undo those staples or however other way it's binded, because it will lose its validity essentially if you tamper with it in any way before it gets sent to the team in Spain.
I had a question, Emily, or not a question, actually. I was just going to share because we've been through the process in Colorado, and we've gotten our apostille documents back. So I was going to show you what it looks like, but also just a question. So this is just one of the 3 that we got back, and they put a seal, they put a sticker on it. So it's almost impossible to copy it or scan it fully. I don't know if that's important or not, but it's just another example of
Yeah.
the way that they're sealed.
Yeah, that's typical. You can just fold it and take like a photo, like in the corner. If you just like do it like if you wear a staple and you just like fold the paper and take it, that is fine. Yeah, because they know that they are like together. Yeah, we get those. It's funny, Claudia, my colleague, and I, we used to collect them when students leave. We have a collection of all the different
all the different types.
Well, yeah, we're like, oh, we don't have Minnesota or whatever.
The nice thing that Colorado did is they allowed us to send our documents, our notarized documents ahead of time via email, and then they reviewed them and said, no, that's not right. You have to do this again. So when we sent them in, we had everything lined out, and it happened. It turned around within 2 weeks.
That's awesome. That's really great. Yeah, that also reminds me, Jenny, it depends how long they take to process these. It could be weeks. It could be 1 week. It could be 3 weeks. So make sure that you're doing this, pretty quickly after this call. And I would probably aim to have at least all those documents sent to be apostille by early next week, Allie, unless you want to add a different deadline.
Yeah, everything needs to be sent to Spain by May 15th, to arrive in Spain by June 1st. As we know, mail here in the US is not the best. Imagine what it's like when you mail overseas. It's not great, right? So we do recommend sticking to our deadlines. They are hard deadlines. If you mail your documents outside those deadlines, you will be waiting longer to get your documents than get your visa. It's a whole process. It's a holdup. We can't do anything for you and your student until your documents have made it to Spain. So again, I urge you as the student and you as the parent, you work as a team together and get these documents done. It should not be on one person only. It should not be on the parent. Students, this is your turn, like Emily said. Just, assert some independence and help your mom or help your dad, help a legal guardian, grandma, grandpa, whoever is helping you, get it done together. Okay? Super duper important. Now, you may have said this already, but I'm going to reiterate it. Please scan each document individually. Okay? Like, not just like take a picture. I want them actually scanned on a scanner. Also, if you have an iPhone, if you go to the Notes app of your iPhone, you will see there's an option to scan a document. Utilize that. If you don't have a scanner in your home like me, because who has a printer or a scanner in their home these days? So, or ask your parents to take it to work with them and scan it, because if they have an office job, they most likely have a scanner or printer at their office. Okay? Cool. Hope that was
good tips. Yeah. Thanks, Allie.
Yeah. I mean, I keep trying to let your mom in. Is there any way you could help her? We keep accepting it. I don't know what's going on here.
I tried helping her, and she just, I think it might have something to do with the device she's on, but there's nothing really I can do except let her like sit here with me, but she doesn't want to do that, so.
Well, I suggest that she does at this point, because there's nothing I can do other than keep pressing to admit her. So if you can ask her to come sit with you, that'd be great. Okay? There's just a few questions that I wanted to just address here in the chat, Emily, real quick, if that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, of course.
Is the timeline the same if the visa is not needed? So if you don't need a visa because you're doing a trimester, yes, it is still the same timeline. Do not go out of the timeline. You don't get any special permissions just because you don't need a fancy visa, okay? Still got to do it at the time that we request, because basically Claudia and Elena in Spain have to go to the different Spanish government offices, or school offices, sorry, in your prospective towns, and basically go into the schools on your behalf and say, hi, I'm registering this said student, okay? So you still have to do it at the same time, because they only do this like 1 or 2 days out of the entire summer to go and register you. So it's imperative that you stick to our deadlines, okay? Otherwise, there will be delays. Let's see. Where do I upload my completed documents? My daughter did not see on our CIE account. We think there might be some kind of error in our systems. So for the meantime, if you're not seeing a place to upload your documents, I do ask that you email them to our email, the HS Abroad account, hsabroad@cie.org, and then we can go ahead and eventually save them and add them for you, because there's something funky going on in the background with our system. We're trying to figure that out. So we do apologize for that inconvenience, but we will get it fixed soon, okay? Do sophomore transcripts. We were told it's all of 9th and first half of the 10th grade. Have to be translated by a specific translator before they get notarized apostille. No, they do not. The only reason you would need a translation situation for your documents is if you are attending the equivalent of like senior year or junior year, which is Bacchietto, which we'll talk about shortly. So I don't want to get too much into the weeds of that. And someone else has their hand raised.
Jesse?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
It sounds like we're on a little bit of a timeline with trying to get these out. So I just want to make sure that I have it clear what I'm supposed to do. I need a transcript that is as up to date as possible. I need the parent authorization form in both English and Spanish. I need copies of his passports, copies of my passport, my wife's passports. All of that gets notarized. All of it gets sent to my state to get apostilled, comes back to me. I scan it up into CIEE, and then I mail it to Spain. Do I have all? And that's by May 15th. Is that good?
The passport, and so both passports do not have to go through the notary apostille process because they're official federal documents. Yeah.
So it's just the transcripts and the parent authorization form that have to get apostilled?
Notarized and apostilled, yes.
Okay, thank you. Got it.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you'll need to get 2 copies of the authorization, correct, Emily?
Yeah, we'll want that just for your records to keep, and the one that you're going to send to Spain, just in case anything happens.
Someone asked about how far back do the transcripts go. We will get to that in a minute. So just hold on tight, Ian. All right, I'm going to be quiet and let you go.
Thank you. Alrighty. Okay, so let me back up. Okay, so like Ali mentioned, I think there's a glitch in the application to actually upload your documents. You might see a task that says school enrollment apostille documents. We'll work on fixing that, and hopefully you can upload documents there. But if you don't see an option to upload your documents, then you can just email the scanned copies to your enrollment coordinator, to hsabroad@ciee.org. Or no, sorry, that's a lie. It's going to be an apostille documents for Spain upload. I think that's where it is. Sorry, thinking out loud. I think this task isn't added, so we'll work on that and let you know once that gets updated. Otherwise, again, just email us the documents.
The project coordinators are aware, so they're working on it.
Yeah. Okay. And once you receive those copies back from the apostille from the Secretary of State, you'll mail all your documents together. So, like Jesse mentioned, the passport for your participant, the legal guardian passports, the legal authorization form, and the transcripts all together to this address, to CIEE Seville. And this information, again, can be found on that enrollment document guide. And again, make sure you do not tamper with anything that keeps the apostille intact, whether it's a sticker, staples, anything and everything. Alrighty, I'm going to pass it over to Raquel that's going to share a little bit more about school placements.
All right. Welcome to the Spanish education system. As I mentioned yesterday, it's very different than the one in the US. So in Spain, so until 10th grade, it's compulsory to go to school. So all books are free. Anyway, see, yeah, one of the differences is like books are free, provided by the government, and yeah, compulsory. All kids who need to go until 10th grade must go to school. So after 10th grade in Spain, students have the choice of either doing they call it like modules. It's like something, imagine you want to be like a nurse or something like that, or you want to, I don't know, something like electrician or something like that. You can do those modules. There's also like professional kind of like development also for more technical jobs. And then there's this other option for students who usually typically want to go to college, and they will do what is called the bachillerato. It's pronounced officially bachillerato in Spanish. The CH, it's pronounced like like CH, like what word in English you have, like chimichanga, like chi, that ch sound, that's the sound of the CH. And that's the Spanish class for today. So it's bachillerato. I know you say baccalaureate, because it used to be something called baccalaureate, right? Or is it a similar? It's a similar word, but that has nothing to do with, what's it called? Bachelorette party? That has nothing to do with it. So bachillerato is only 2 grades, 11th and 12th, okay? So it's very different than anything that happened before. So up until 10th grade, 11th and 12th grade are very academically demanding and much more challenging than the other. Why? Because you have to, like in the States, you have to do the SAT, right, to go to college. So in Spain, they have to do this test also for students who want to go to college, okay? So it's very, the system in Spain is very focused on like tests, taking notes, usually no computers. So we'll tell you in the OBDO, when the online pre-departure orientation comes, not to bring, well, you bring your computer, but you don't bring it to school. So you do this. There used to be called, remember, writing with your pen and a notebook. There's a lot of it, and it's interesting to me because the students were always very impressed of the notes that the Spanish students take. So it's very funny. They're like, they take beautiful notes because they're used to, you know, they're used to doing a lot of writing. So anyway, a lot of testing, a lot of homework, and yeah, lots of taking notes. So that is bachillerato. We, CIE, because of the language barrier, because of many things, we recommend our students to be placed in a lower grade that they should, or they were in the States. Why? As I say, language barrier, academic demanding, etc. Plus, there's this whole headache about students who want to be placed in 11th grade. We don't have 12th graders. We don't place students in 12th grade. That is all explained in the student, what's it called? I'm losing it. In the academic guide that you all have access to, is explain the reasons why we do not currently place students in 12th grade. So Yeah, that is all I have to say about the bachillerato. I don't know if it's like clear, but there is no, I don't know who's asking about the IB. There's not, oh yeah, one more thing to clarify. I know you will read it in the academic guide, but in Spain, there are no such a thing as AP classes, advanced. Everybody is like, there's no math is math. There is no calculus, pre-calculus, whatever. You don't divide algebra, like math is math, and within one trimester they might do algebra, they might do calculus, but I graduated already from this. It doesn't matter. Like math is math, so it's like much limited options of subjects. There's more like a set schedule. So it's like this skeleton that is set, and it's not like, you go to a buffet and you can pick and choose like you do in the States. It's like set, and there's only a couple of electives. Okay. So are you worried that you will be placed in a lower grade, that your school is not going to convalidate? I would say the goal of going abroad it is the experience, it is the learning the language, is like, gaining independence, etc. And I have met hundreds and hundreds of students who this has changed, like all have told me this experience changed my life, and when they come back to the States, it doesn't really matter, about they didn't take AP classes, etc., etc. So this is going to put you, like Emily said, like set you apart from anyone else. See? All right, so the requirements for students that will be enrolled as junior in Spain: apostille, notarized, and translated. Transcripts 7, 8, 9, and 10th, and 11th. See? Yes? Okay. Official Spanish translation of the transcript by an official sworn translator. So this is the government in Spain only takes the translators of a official list of translators that they have. We don't have anything to do. I don't even know who this Celia Bravo Diaz is, but apparently she has provided services for many students who have come to Spain. So we are adding here her email because she's familiarized, she has done it before, and she was also a CIEE alumni herself. So that is pretty amazing and a coincidence. But she's not paying us, we're just recommending her here for you to be easier, and she's familiarized. So that will be easier for you.
Can I add one thing?
Yes.
So I know there's some students that have expressed, they want to be enrolled as a junior. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. Okay. If you're a 10th grader now and you would like to continue on as a junior in Spain, you'll still need to submit as much of your transcripts from 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th grade. Now, we know you'll only have as much of 10th grade probably as you're enrolled in now, maybe only like half the year's worth of grades. You will then need to mail us a apostilled, translated, and notarized copy of your transcripts.
The rest of your 10th grade.
Yeah, thank you. Brain, it's late. The rest of your transcripts to Spain. So this again could delay things. All right. Yeah. I want you to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
If you absolutely think you need to do this.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, go. Sorry to interrupt.
No, please.
Well, no, I was saying it is a real pain in the butt to do the additional steps to be in 11th grade. And then most times students are like, overwhelmed by the academic, requirements of being in 11th grade. And it is, I would say, much better if they're placed in a lower, in a lower grade. It is, from my experience, much better.
Yeah, and just to emphasize, our default is always to place you in a grade lower, and that is how the enrollment document guide is written, with the assumption that you will be placed in a grade lower because of all these differences with baccalaureate. So for seniors, or for going to be seniors, if you're currently in 11th grade, you will be placed as a junior no matter what. You do still have to go through this process of getting these documents translated, apostille notarized, to be placed in 11th grade. And it will be that baccalaureate one that Raquel was sharing. Like Ali mentioned, some of you guys have expressed interest in being placed in your current grade. So if you're currently, well, what would be your current grade here in the US? So if you're currently a sophomore and you are going into 11th grade and you really, really want to be in 11th grade and, you know, feel confident with your language level and everything else, I'm sure you guys will talk about that with Claudia more, and she might feel a little bit more confident with her giving a recommendation based on your language level if she thinks that is the right recommendation for you. But like, again, Raquel mentioned, this is already going to be so challenging for you as a student. Adjusting to a different family, a different home, a different country, a different everything. And with the language difference, the school isn't going to like cut you any slack for being a international student. You're still going to be expected to participate, do the homework as best to your ability. And it is going to be challenging. So at that level of rigorousness that comes with Baccalaureate 1, just something to think about and talk about as a family with, you know, what works best for you in this experience and what might be the most positive experience for you abroad as well.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and please take to heart what Claudia recommends in your meet and greet, because she will be evaluating your language levels. Raquel and Claudia have been through this more years than are on, fingers on my hand, right? So they are experts. If they truly think that you could be in, Black 1, great. If they don't, please listen. We really want to make sure students are able to be successful on program. That's what it is at the end of the day. Go ahead, Raquel.
Yeah, and students, I mean, it's funny to see because I know like most students are used to getting A's and, they're really, they never got like a B or even like a B minus. It's like this big, stain on their academic history. And then when they go to Spain, so the system is like, the grading is like 1 to 10, being 10, like you are God, and being 0, you're like really bad, like 0, and 5 is like pass. So if you're 5, to me, it like in CIE's eyes, you are like great. So I have students who, when they get a 5, they're like, I got a 5 in math, and it's like, well, you pass. Or like, if to me they got like a 4.5, I was like, you are golden. At least I can see they're trying. They're putting the effort, and I'm like, it's not easy in another language, to just almost get a 5. That's like, incredible. So students were like, oh yeah, today's the best day of my life. I got a 5 in math. So that was like really funny. So your standards are gonna be, and then some students were like, I got a 0, in lengua because I went there and there was a test and I had no idea, the questions, and I got a 0, and I was like, it's okay, we'll get better. So it's okay to get a 0 at the beginning, but then you have to put the effort, to improve. You're not gonna go there and expect to get a 10, otherwise you will not be going to learn the language, right?
We have a few questions in the chat, and I just want to kind of briefly answer them, Emily, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
So as Emily mentioned earlier, our enrollment guide is where all this information is going to be held. Okay. And I know people have very specific questions, and I want you to email us offline about your very specific questions, but I do urge you to take a look at our enrollment guide because it's set up purposely so that it's in alignment with the default of the grade level below of whatever your current grade is. So I do recommend taking a look at that and then emailing us with your questions, because it will tell you specifically what you need based on whatever your current grade is, and then what you will need to be in that grade level below in Spain. So if you're a 10th grader now and going into 11th grade in the fall, you'll be in 10th grade in Spain. Okay.
Yeah. I want to answer, if you don't mind, Ali, about like going up and down. So going up and down of grades in Spain, it is not easy. Why? Because it's all regulated by the government. And so each school has like what we call ratios and ratios. So if that means a classroom can have a maximum of, I don't know, 30 students, right? So you cannot have 31 students unless your superintendent, similar to like whatever the inspector approves it. So let's say you have, 29 students in 10th grade and whatever you want to go down, but there's like already 30 students, they're not going to let you go down because it's already like the maximum ratio. You know what I mean? So it's like you cannot just like flip and flop. And if you're in 10th grade and you want to go to 11th grade, you will have to provide all these additional documents that we are talking to do for 11th grade. It will have to be done. So it takes time, and so it is not easy. It's not easy at all. So it's not like, oh yeah, when I'm there, I'll just flip flop and change. And one of the core things we want to say when you are in Spain is like, we don't want to change your school because that's going to be one of the cores of your experience. And we want you to be, with the same group of students, and you're going to make, your friends are going to be there, etc. So yeah, it is not easy to switch.
Great, thank you guys. I am going to move on because I want to be mindful of everybody's time. I know it's late. Okay. So moving on to the visa process officially. So again, if you are going for the trimester, you do not have to be bothered with this. So the visa process. We have a visa window where you need to have the visa appointment, when you need to have the visa appointment, between July 26th and August 2nd. It's really important that your appointment is in this window because anytime before this, there's no guarantee that you'll have your visa documents from the team in Spain, that you'll have them mailed to you. So if you don't have your documents, you can't go through the visa appointment. And then the August 2nd deadline is so we can make sure to stay on track with enough time to process your visa before your program departs in September. There is details about the consulate, about the documents that we'll go over in the reading section of your My CIEE account. It's just labeled visa guide. So be sure to review that if you have questions, and then reach out to your enrollment coordinators if you have anything to follow up on. Alrighty, so the consulate that you will need to use. This is very specific, and there are specific jurisdictions for each consulate. There is no flexibility with where you can have your visa appointment. You might see that there are honorary consulates in your state. Honorary consulates cannot process visas. Only these 9 consulates in the US can process visas. So review this, double check where you have to travel to if needed in order to have that appointment. You also want to make sure to check the consulate's website because every consulate is very different with their processes. So they might have different document requirements that, for example, the consulate in Miami might ask for something that the consulate in Houston doesn't. So each one of you truly is unique in that sense, where you have to do your own research and making sure that you have everything that you need. Also, the process of having the appointment is different with every consulate. So for some of you, you might have to go and do an in-person appointment. Some of you might be able to mail in all your documents to be processed for the visa. And also, some of you might have to go, once you have the appointment, you might have to go back to pick up your visa once it's been processed. Or again, you might have the option to get the visa mailed back to you. So check which consulate you have to go to first. Look at the consulate's website. Make sure you have an idea of what this application and appointment process is going to be like for the consulate. I think it's good to do this now and to have this understanding now, just so come July, you feel prepared to have this appointment. And you're not surprised with having to fly to LA if you live in Colorado. Oh, one more thing I did want to mention. So the consulate requirements and processes change constantly. We do try to update our visa guide as much as we can, but a lot of the information that we get is coming from you with those revisions, just with your experience and past student experiences term over term. So there could be changes, even like from now until July when you have your appointment. So be sure to check constantly and make sure that you have everything that you need and you're, again, prepared. Okay, so documents that we're going to provide, or the team in Spain is going to provide, is the Acta de Manifestaciones, the Certificate of Sexual Offenses, the CIEE acceptance letter, proof of health insurance, the school letter or school acceptance letter, and homestay family IDs, just scan copies of their IDs. And you will also get just placement documents or information documents from us as well. This usually comes a little bit after you get these documents for your visa. They may not be included in the packet that you initially get. We usually send these via email to you a couple weeks later with details about your homestay, their phone number, where they live, if you can walk to school, all those little details. And same with your school placement form that will be sent to you most likely via email later on. Okay, so what these documents look like. The Acta de Manifestación is basically a document that says that the host family will agrees to take care of you as a minor and that they will not adopt you. The parents, you're not losing your kid for forever, just for the term that they're going to be gone for. But it's just a government document, so that's basically what it says. It is notarized. Yes, it's notarized in Spain, and this document has to be the original copy. So it will be mailed to you via DHL. Whenever the staff in Spain mails documents, we do get a tracking number from them that we will share with you, and we will let you know that you have these documents on the way to you. This is the tracking number for you to track all these documents, and we will also send you scanned copies of them via email for your records. But again, you need the physical copies for your visa appointment. Again, just another picture. It is a pretty long document. It's about 6 pages long. Okay, the Certificate of Sexual Offenses is essentially a background check for your homestay family. It's a digital document that will be sent via email. So that's something that's going to be sent to you with those scanned copies that I mentioned before, along with that tracking number that will send you for your physical copies that you need. They can look a little different, but we'll kind of specify what it is whenever we send you that document via email. These are just some examples. And you will also get an acceptance letter that will be in Spanish. This is from CIEE. It kind of outlines what this program is, that you'll be placed in a local high school, that you'll have health insurance, that you will be cared for by a family abroad, that expenses have been paid for your stay as well. So this just like gives basically like a general description of what this program is and what is going to be covered. The original copy will be mailed to you. Again, we'll send you an electric copy via email, and this is one of the requirements for your visa appointment. Here's another picture. It will be signed by Elena, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's right. It'll be signed by Elena.
That one was signed by the former center director, by Paco. But
Okay, perfect.
But it will be signed by either Elena. Yeah, fine. So again, all these documents you don't have to worry because those are provided by CIEE.
Proof of insurance. So you will be enrolled in a CISA, which a CISA will be mailed to you with the other documents. But you also need to bring your iNext proof of insurance to your visa appointment. Your iNext insurance benefits form will be sent to only students. So parents, let your student know that they should be checking their email for these benefits forms from iNext. Usually we enroll students about a month before the visa appointment, and we'll let you know whenever that has been sent, so you can be sure to check. But make sure to print a copy of that benefits form from iNext, and you'll also be receiving these in addition to that. It's specific requirement for Spain. You'll also receive a school letter. This is usually what it looks like. It might look different for some of you guys. But again, we'll kind of note that whenever we send you all the documents. Again, this is kind of just telling the consulate that you are in fact enrolled in a high school, in a local high school in Spain, for the purpose, and you have the purpose of applying for a student visa. This doesn't have to be a physical copy. It's going to be emailed to you, but usually we will send a physical copy as well for you to take to the appointment. And any documents that we email to you, be sure to print them out. I had to get a visa, a Spanish visa, and I wasn't allowed to use my phone whenever I had my appointment. This was a couple years back, but I wasn't allowed to have my phone, and just with every agent, they might have, different rules. So just be sure to have printouts of everything and copies for your records. Oh, this is another example of a school letter. The difference here is this right here is a digital signature. And this is just normal handwritten signature. Okay, and then you will receive your school placement form and your homestay placement form I mentioned, usually a couple weeks after we send that big folder that's going to be mailed to you. So you'll receive these via email, and it's going to just have these details about the family, if there's children in the home, their contact information, what they do for work, what interests they have, that kind of thing. So it's kind of fun to see what they're like. Alrighty. Allie, do you want me to take this one?
I can handle it. I'll let you
Okay.
take a break. You can breathe, have some water, get a drink, have a coffee. It's probably very late by you, and I'm still drinking coffee. All right. So again, these are the documents that are gathered by our students and parents. You're going to help your student and students. You're not going to have your parents do everything, right? Can I get a head shake? Thank you. All right. So the visa application form. There's an application fee to pay to get a visa. You need a passport that is valid for 6 months after your return date. By now, all of you, we should have told you if your passport is no bueno. All right. So please, please, please make sure you've applied for your passport if you need a new one, or if you need to get one in general. If this is your first international experience, kudos to you. You need an ID or proof of residency. So for your parents, that might be like some form of driver's license or another form of like a passport or something like that. Global entry card. Criminal record certificate for those that are above the age of 18, but that does not apply to any of you, which is great. An authorization of parent representative, a consent to travel. That is your consent to travel form. The authorization in Spanish. And then we also have a separate one that's for CIEE, just so you are aware, which is the authorization. Oop, Emily, there we go. Authorization of parent representative. That's the consent to travel form. So that's a separate form that I know is probably still sitting in some of your tasks. You can't do that one just yet, just because you do need the flight information, which we're going to get to next. But we do ask that you get that done at least 2 or so weeks before you depart, because you will also need to get that notarized. Signatures have to happen in front of a notary, okay? Medical certificates. So sometimes that's like, please correct me if I'm wrong, Emily, that's like the health form, correct? Raquel? Yeah, our health form.
It's there's requirements that are listed on the consulate's website about what that is. Yeah.
Yes.
Most students do not need that. Yeah, but
it depends on your consulate.
Right, exactly.
So again, every consulate's going to have different requirements. It's really, really, really important that you research what your consulate's requirements are. We do not know them. They change daily. We cannot keep up with what happens at each and every consulate for all 9 programs that we run. So please, please, please review your consulate's website. And then you'll need a passport size photos. That's like your ID style photos that you should have already uploaded to your application. That's so like we can make like ID cards for any form of like public transportation and such. Okay, cool. Go ahead to the next one. Let's talk about flights. My favorite thing. I love to fly. So we will begin to book your flights about 1 to 2 months before departure. But in order to book your flights, we need the following completed on your end. We need your visa in hand or in process. So exactly why we don't book your flights, because there's always could be problems with your visa. And we'd hate to book flights when there is no record of you actually being able to go. Balance needs to be paid in full. If you don't know when your balance is due, all you need to do is log into your student's portal or the parent portal. At the bottom where it says like make a payment or look at my balance, you can download online what your final balance looks like, and you can see how much you owe. You can pay your balance online via credit or debit card or ACH. I recommend ACH because there's a lot of fees in addition when you pay with a credit or debit card. So if you want to avoid any fees, just do a big transfer and it's going to make your life a lot easier. If you are having any issues with payment, meaning you need more time, please contact your enrollment coordinator. We're more than happy to set up a payment plan, but we do ask that you pay within 4 installments. The last installment has to be paid in full 60 days before your student's departure. There's no wiggle room on that, and unfortunately, it has to be paid 60 days before departure so we can start booking flights, okay? All of our students, in addition to that, will be flying together out of either JFK or Newark. Most likely, it's going to be a New York, New Jersey area-based airport. So we use a third party called FlightFox. They're amazing. We talked about it briefly yesterday. And I know some students on here are coming in from like Alaska or like really, really far places, maybe like me here in California that have to get to the East Coast. We still would recommend that you book your domestic travel with FlightFox if you're traveling on the same day. If you want to just like get ahead of it, and you know that, our student is departing on, I forget what day it is exactly off the top of my head, but if you know what day your student is traveling, then I would recommend, if you want to, come in New York early, get a show, eat a nice croissant, have a coffee somewhere nice, one last hurrah with your student before they go away, if you're traveling from far away. If you plan to travel on day of and you do a split ticket, meaning you book your own domestic travel, not with FlightFox, just note you're going to be doing a lot of in and out and checking in your bags. You have to literally go from wherever you are in like Newark or JFK, grab your bag, and then go back to ticketing. Check your bags in again, go through security again. Okay, that is one thing if you're not familiar with a lot of traveling. There's a lot of switching things around once you get to the airport. Okay, so please, 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 if you're planning on making any flight arrangements, please let us know in advance. We'd rather you be very transparent with us. Again, communication is key, like I spoke about last night, and we'll discuss again this evening. But we do not recommend that you book your international flight. We will do that for you, again, because all the students will be traveling together out of the Gateway Airport. Now, because Spain is one of our most popular locations, this flight will most likely be chaperoned by one of our enrollment coordinators. That is something very unique that we do for our fall cohort. That way our staff can get to know the students a little bit better, make sure everything's okay on the ground, and help them with the orientation and get to know our students. And they're only there for the orientation, and then they're on their merry way back to the States. Okay? Typically, our flights are not chaperoned, so this is a pretty awesome and special experience just for our Spain students and our staff. Okay? Awesome. Any questions about that? I hope it was clear. All right. Thanks, Xander. I so appreciate the hands up, Thumbs up. Allie, you have a question?
Yeah, just real quick.
Yeah, please.
Is there any harm in going to the consulate before July 26th? We're one of the families who has to travel really far, and yeah, is there any harm in going beforehand?
You won't have your documents.
Oh, right, from you guys.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. I think the concern is because we're gonna have to fly twice. We have to go once for the in-person, and then they require an in-person pickup. And so the concern is if we can't pick it up in time, because they say it takes, for this consulate, it takes a month. So yeah. We're really cutting it close by getting there at the, I know this is like a personal question, but I'm assuming there's other people in this situation too, that we could be cutting it super close if we're trying to get back out there to pick it up, because we can't even book a flight until the visa's ready.
Right. Unfortunately, that's the way the cookie crumbles type of scenario here.
I figured, honestly, sorry to ask.
Yeah, and in these types of situations, this is why we say to students, sometimes it's not worth the hassle of getting the visa. Switch to trimester. It's going to save you a lot of time, headaches, money, because you're flying here and there to get everything done. So if I was the parent of your student, as I am a parent, I would say to my student, let's not do that. Let's make this simple. Let's do trimester. You're still going to have a really awesome, amazing experience. but sometimes the visa process is just not worth the hassle when it's cutting it super close like that, especially if you're traveling so far to get to the consulate destination, like Los Angeles. And I live in LA. Traffic here sucks. So 10 out of 10,
Yeah.
don't recommend, personally.
Got it. Thank you for the response.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Of course, of course. And like, if any of you are after tonight's meeting are just like, you know what, this visa just may not be in the cards, that's okay. We're not offended at all. You just let us know, and we're happy to switch you to a trimester. If anything, it makes the paperwork process for our team it's being much easier. So please, 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 let's just, again, open communication and dialogue with us is really important. Okay. All right. Next steps. Let's talk about that. If you haven't already, all of your tasks should basically be done. They were due April 15th. I know there's a select few of you who still have some stuff to do. The reason why we asked everything to be done early is because our team has already secured over 20 host families for you guys, which is amazing, but there's 29 of you. So we still have way more host families to secure. So please, please, please make sure you get your tasks done if they are not done. If they're not, we will continue to message you and email you to get those done until they're completed. We will not be sending anyone's contact information like we mentioned yesterday until after your online pre-departure orientation, because students have to complete the permission to share information task. That is to make sure we can privately or openly share your private information. Okay. Again, start the school enrollment and your visa process now. You have to send us your documents to Spain by May 15th and add and scanned copies of each individual document to your CIEE account or email them to us if you're still having issues. Book your visa appointment in person or mail in your documents when available to do so at your local consulate or embassy. Please make any outstanding payments or contact us regarding any payment inquiries like a payment plan. And if you're interested in doing a social media takeover, be part of our really awesome new ambassador program, please email us and let us know. We'd love to, you know, have some really great students be a part of that. So yeah. Okay, go ahead to the next slide. Okay, so we kind of went over this yesterday, so I don't really want to spend a ton of time doing it. But again, I just want to reiterate, please, please, please have open dialogue with us. That is the best thing you can do for your relationship with your enrollment coordinator and myself, with, you know, between the students and the parents. The reason why we call you a lot is because we want to talk to you because there's clearly an issue, or we're finding out something new, or there's a problem with the application, or we're missing something. So when we call, it's really important to give us a call back. If we text you for something real quick, kids, you know, students, like, text us back as soon as possible. We know you're in school, so maybe not text while you're in class. I'm sure your parents don't like when you do that, but text us when you get home from school. Say, hey, yeah, no problem. I'll send you this immediately, okay? If there are any changes to your address, to your passport, to your health, you need to let us know. It's very, very important that we have the most up-to-date records on hand for everybody involved to ensure that you have a very smooth experience with us. Let's see. Again, before you book your visa appointment, please make an appointment with your enrollment coordinator just to make sure you have all of your documents and all your ducks in a row. Because the worst thing that happens is when you go to your appointment and you're turned away because you are missing a document or something is done incorrectly. Okay? After your appointment is done, just send us a text, hey, it went well. I think I'm going to get my visa in a few weeks. We just love to hear from you. So again, continue that open communication with us is really important. If there is any new requirement that you do learn about, let us know. It's really, really helpful. Again, we can't have eyes on all of our different consulates for all of our different program lines. So it's really important, again, to just inform us if you have something that's come up that you need a document for. It happens. I guarantee you, if not, it's been like every season I've worked with CIE that something new does happen or occurs. So again, just communicate with us. In addition to that, we are here as a guide. to support you. We cannot apply for the visa on your behalf. The guides that we have in your CIEE accounts are foolproof. Okay? They have as much information as we know to make this a successful journey for you guys. So please, please, please lean on those guides as much as possible. They're very detail oriented. We have an incredible project manager who works really, really hard and diligently on them. And we all check it multiple times. So again, please lean on to those guides as much as possible. We're here to support you, but we cannot apply for the visa on your behalf. And let's see. If you need to speak to somebody specifically about something in Spain, you need to directly communicate with the enrollment coordinator, not with our staff in Spain until your student is on program. They will not communicate with you guys until you are there. We have to communicate on your behalf. Okay? Cool. All right. Now, one by one, if you have any questions, feel free to use the raise your hand button, and we will call on you to unmute yourself because there is a lot of you on the call, and I'm sure there's a ton of questions. Thank you, Xander. Go right ahead. Unmute yourself.
Okay, I just want to make sure, and thank you. You guys have been extremely helpful with this because I've been a bit mind boggled by this situation. But
you and us both.
I wanted to make sure that I know. So I'm clear now on what I have to get notarized and apostilled, but I'm not 100% sure on every document I need to get translated. And do I have to do that before notarization and apostille?
Yes, you have to get everything translated before you can get it notarized and apostilled. If you're doing BAC 1, I believe that's what you're doing, if I remember correctly, after talking to Rachel today. Sorry?
No, I think so. Claudia said, because, all right, currently my Espanol is not muy bueno, so I'm going to take lessons.
You and me both,
more,
okay.
But she said that maybe I'll be like even lower, like 10th grade or something. I'm not really sure though.
Then if that's the case, Claudia, he doesn't, Raquel, he doesn't need to do, he can just probably do the 10th grade, right? Or does he still need to get everything
if that was her
translated?
recommendation. Yeah,
Okay.
if that was her recommendation, then yeah, I
Go
would
with-
avoid that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna be successful in 10th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't push myself if I were you. If I didn't feel confident about my own language ability in Spanish, I wouldn't
Right.
push it. But
Okay.
he doesn't need to then get everything translated, correct? If he's not doing that.
No
Okay, that's fine.
translations for
there.
for that. You only need translations if you're going into Colorado.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't need anything to get translated except the authorization form and the transcripts.
The authorization form's already in
Form.
Spanish.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah,
But-
so you just need your 9th and 10th grade transcripts,
Mm-hmm.
the parent authorization form in Spanish and English, notarized and apostilled.
Okay.
Once that's done, you get all those documents back from the apostille from the Secretary of State.
Yeah.
Then you provide a copy of your passport in color and a copy of your parents' passports in color, and then send all of that together
Okay.
to Spain.
transcripts don't get
You keep a
translated.
copy. Yeah.
No,
keep-
no translation.
Okay. Thank you so
You're
much.
lucky. Yeah.
Yes. Don't spend the extra money if you don't have to. All
Appreciate
right,
it.
Megan.
Hello,
Hi.
I believe I had this question answered earlier, but I just really want to make sure.
Okay.
Because we are supposed to set up a meeting with the Seville people in Spain. We got an email at least I got an email about that.
Your meet and greet. Yeah.
Yes, that's the only reason we would talk with the Seville people, right?
Until you leave. Yes. That is
Okay.
the only reason you would need to be in touch with them. Otherwise, you get to talk to Miga, your enrollment coordinator. Okay. Thank you for asking. That's a great question.
You're welcome.
All right.
I think it was
see.
Annie. Annie,
Annie?
who we left you, I think yesterday you had a question and I think you left before.
Yeah. Is there a deadline for like the meetings? Because currently I have mine scheduled for, I think it's like May 20th. And is that going to be too late or is that okay?
You can reschedule it to do it sooner if you can.
Are you a trimester?
Yeah, I'm a trimester.
Okay, then maybe that's why they let you, do it a little bit later. But
Look
I
on
mean,
the email that you got from them though, because there was a deadline on there. I think it was like May 26th or something like that. But don't quote me. Go back and look at that original email.
Okay,
you can always reschedule it.
If it let you schedule, it was probably okay, unless there was a mistake on the calendar. But if it let you schedule up until that day, it should be okay. But check the date in the email.
If you're worried about like your level of school you'll be placed in, like what grade, then you should definitely like, schedule it earlier on. But again, we really, really do urge that students be placed in a grade level below. All right, and then Evelyn?
Yeah, so this might be more of a personal question, and I think it was kind of already answered, but I think there's been a mix-up with my meet and greets. I was supposed to have it tomorrow morning, but I've gotten 2 notifications now that I haven't booked one. I'm just not really sure.
Okay, our tracking sheet may not be the most up to date. Your last name's Frazier?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me?
I wrote Claudia about that. I think just with time difference, she hasn't been able to confirm it. So I have a feeling that you are scheduled for 6 a.m. tomorrow. So I would plan to be on that call, okay?
Okay.
And I apologize if there's a technical difficulty.
So you're Friday, April 26, 2024. At what time?
6 a.m. PST.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Evelyn. I appreciate it. Okay. Annie, did you still have a question? I see that your hand is still raised.
Sorry, no.
Okay, no worries. Eric, you have a question?
Yeah, so the documents that need to be sent to Spain, are those all the documents on the visa thing, like the transcript, the legal authorization, or legal guardian authorization form?
The legal guardian authorization form is available in your CIE application. It's a task. You just download it from there. Transcripts, obviously, you're going to get official transcripts from your school. You have to request those because they have to be official. Okay. And then passports are from your home. And
All right, so I send one, the originals of all of those, and then I keep copies of those for my visa appointment. Sorry, I'm a little confused with.
No, it's okay. So do not send us your passports, first off.
The copy.
Yeah, do not send us your passports because you need your passport, okay? Make copies of your passport and your parents' passport. And again, all of this is written in the enrollment guide. You're going to print off copies. I want you to print 2 legal authorization forms. You'll get both of them notarized and apostilled. You're going to mail copies of your passport, copies of your parents' passport, one of the originals of the authorization form in Spanish that has the apostille and the notarization on it, and the apostille notarized transcripts to Spain. Raquel,
all right.
Did I do it right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And the copies of the passports, those aren't like a notarized and apostilled.
No, they don't need to be because they're official documents.
All right, thank you. And I have one last question. With transcripts, is it usual? I'm having some trouble with getting the official transcripts that they need to be sent from institution to institution. That's what I'm hearing. So is that usually like an issue where I can't just receive my official transcripts from my school?
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding.
No, your school needs to give them to you. The school doesn't need to send that to any other institution. They should print it out with a seal and give them to you. Is that what I'm understanding?
That's what I'm asking for from my academic dean, but I'm having trouble. She hasn't responded yet, but I'm having trouble with. She wants to just send it straight to an institution because
it's not like sending it off to a college like you do when you apply to college, which you'll do in a few years. It's not like that. She needs to have an official one printed and sealed and mailed. Or given to you at school. So I think you just might need to explain to the dean like what this is for. Is she the same person or he the same person that signed off on your guidance counselor form?
Yes.
Oh, weird. Make
Schools
sure she read the directions of what she signed off on, please. Really, really important, everyone. Make sure your guidance counselor knows what you got yourself into. Okay. Really, really important.
All right. And sorry, I know I'm saying one last thing, but
it's okay.
I heard for bachelor or whatever it was, the 11th in Spain, that you need 7th, 8th, and 9th, and 10th. But I'm just going into the 10th grade, so I would just need 9th, right? 7th and 8th aren't important. Official.
You're not going to be in the Bachillero, right?
Yes. So I'm just going into the 10th grade equivalent. So I just need 9th grade official transcript.
So what grade are you in now, Eric?
I'm in 10th grade right now. I'm going to go.
So look at the enrollment guide that's shared on the screen here that Emily so lovingly shared. So thank you, Emily. You would look at what it says. It says current 10th grade. Okay.
All right.
So you need transcripts for all 9th grade and as much of 10th grade that is available that need to be notarized and apostilled. You don't need to do any translation.
All right. Thank you
you're
very
not
much.
going into Bachillero. Yep. Of course.
Yes.
Okay.
I also, sorry, just want to add something. The parent author or the legal guardian authorization form that you need for the enrollment documents to be notarized and apostilled is in this document. So in the enrollment document guide, in the reading section of your application, you'll open this guide, you'll download it, and then you'll be able to access this hyperlink for the legal guardian authorization form that's in Spanish and in English.
Yeah, again, we recommend that you read it, and that means by you, I mean the students. You read it, print it out, send, take it with you to the bathroom. Make sure you study pretty well. And if you study and read it like 5 times and you have questions after that, you can contact your coordinator. But I will guarantee that 99.9% of your questions are going to be answered in that document. Okay, from experience, everything is in there. We put so much effort into creating that document, so for you to read. So please read it, so there are no surprises. Very well explained in there. Are there any other questions that we are missing? I was just gonna say that it's important to have an open mind and to expect the unexpected. We are not gonna be able to answer all your questions. There are all, so many one by one and case by case that we're not going to be able to answer, and these will be answered in the online pre-departure orientation, when you have your orientation while in Spain, etc., and as you go while on the program, you will still have questions, and that's why you have, as I said, like a big support system on site. So we can possibly answer all your questions, but there are many things about academics and other details and health and safety and other things that will be answered during the online pre-departure orientation and at orientation in Spain.
Thanks, Raquel. Annie, you have another question?
Yeah, so if I'm in 9th grade now and I'm going into 10th grade, I know I don't need to get my transcripts notarized or apostilled, but for the other documents that I'm also sending, do those need to be notarized and apostilled as well, or no?
Correct. See on the left-hand side of this enrollment document, it says parent and legal guardian authorization form in Spanish, notarized and apostilled.
That's the only form that you need notarized and apostilled, though. Since you're in 9th grade, these the transcripts do not have to be notarized and apostilled.
But
yeah, and the reason for that is
does.
that, yeah, that documents from your parents signed, from your legal guardian saying, yes, we do authorize. It says, I'm breaking the news to you. It says we authorize to CIE this name with this ID number, blah blah blah, to do all the academic whatever requirements needed for my child. Da 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 da. Okay, and that is because when we go to the government over there, they say, who are you? Who are you enrolling this minor here? So we have to tell them, that yes, we have, here's the parents authorization. They are, their IDs are here. They're authorizing, me as a CIE staff and not trafficking with minors and anything like that. They're very skeptical. They always think we're doing some illegal things, but we are not. So yeah, that document is like key. And if there's anything strange like cross and stuff by the notary, they're gonna like look at us twice and be like, what is this? It's cross and I cannot read, so make sure before, that you check it, that you see that it's in both pages, especially the one in Spanish.
Any other questions? Beatrix. Feel free to unmute.
Can't hear you.
Oh, no question, Beatrix?
No question.
And I will say parents, I know I said it yesterday, but encourage your students really, I mean, your kids to really read these documents and to take, ownership of this process from now. And, to start, you ask them questions. I don't know, have you read the academic guide? I don't know. Do you know? Like, read it. Have you read it? Ask them about it. They are as capable as you. So yeah, give them the ownership, and I love that so many students are asking questions themselves and not the parents. So yeah, thank you. I love that. There we go. Talking about that, we got
Xander.
Yeah, I do have. Okay, I just really want to be clear about this. So for the visa, I need to get documents apostilled and notarized, but that's just the consent to travel form, maybe a medical certificate if my consulate needs it, and the application form. No, that's just different. And the INEX insurance form. Is that it?
Yeah, you'll need that. So our visa guide, which is separate from the school enrollment guide, has a list of all the documents that you'll need to gather for your visa appointment. So you can use it like as like a checklist, like, oh, I have this, I have that. So again, but like we've said, you need to make sure you're checking your consulate's website because a lot of these could change, and like you don't know if you're going to need a medical form for your consulate.
Mm-hmm.
It just varies. So definitely take a look at that.
Okay. Yeah, definitely read the visa thing like times, but it's still just
I know we read them literally every day, and
Yeah.
for different countries, and it's a lot. You
Okay,
get it.
thank you.
No problem. Evelyn, did you have another question?
Beatrice said, I'm sorry, my microphone. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I do have another question. So hypothetically, so I'm in 11th grade currently, but I don't know if I'm at the level where I should be in Bach. So if I were to go into 6th grade, do I still need my translated transcripts, or would it be different?
So you're gonna do like what Xander's doing. So the answer is no. You're gonna send us basically your 9th grade, your 10th grade. You can send us your 11th grade as to what you have right now, and we'll make a note that you'd like to be placed in 10th grade. And I applaud you for that, knowing what your limitation is. Yeah, I think it's great because it's really, really important that you be able to, enjoy your experience. And I don't want anyone to be so stressed about like their grades. You guys are there to really engage and learn and have fun, at the end of the day. So good for you.
Thank you.
No problem. All right. And Kimiko, you have a question?
Sorry. Oh yeah,
Beatriz?
I wanted to just
Okay.
hi everyone. I just wanted to ask about the just the meet and greet for the for all the students. I thought they were gonna have I don't know if that was the pre-departure, but just everybody to kind of get to know one another, and then because they'll all be traveling together from the major gateway airports, right?
So the meet and greet is what Ami needs to schedule separately.
No, I
It's
know
a-
that part. I understand that, Allie. I
Okay.
understand that.
Okay.
What I'm asking is for the participants themselves, like all of us or all the students. I thought there was some online gathering of them before
Yes,
departure.
there's an online pre-departure orientation. We don't have a scheduled date for that yet. We'll probably reach out to our center staff to schedule that in the next few weeks, but you will be told what that is over the summer. It happens typically a month before departure.
And that's when all of the students can have each other's email and contact information. That's like
After
the
that
earliest.
call. After that call.
Okay. And that's like you'll have a directory of other students.
Yep. We send out a PDF file of everyone's information.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Beatriz had a question about if she has to mail both English and Spanish authorization forms to Spain because the guide says just the Spanish one. If they have apostille and they have a seal for both documents, do not break it. If you have separate and the Spanish one looks like it, it's a complete document with the seal, the signature, everything, you can just send that. But if they're together, just send it, The Spanish, CIEE staff is just going to use the Spanish version of it, but if they're together, then they can see, so. Does that make sense?
Great. Awesome. All right. Any other questions?
Your visa, sorry. Somebody's asking,
form.
visa form is asking for an address in Spain, like your visa
Yeah, I know that.
application.
Yeah, so I'm at Mars. She had to leave, but her mom is on for her. I'm not
Hi.
going to pretend I'm her. But I was working on her visa form, and it says applicant's address in Spain.
Yeah. Well, we don't have the host family information until later in the host family's form that will be emailed to you. So you can just put the CIE, one for now, I would say. And if they ask something, you can say, I didn't have the host family information until there. Here it is if you need it, want it. That will be in the CIE acceptance letters. It will be the host family information in there once you receive the CIE acceptance letters.
Yeah, so you might not need to do the visa application right at this moment
So
unless it's
early,
asking you to do it in order to book the appointment. Can you verify that for us?
So
if you don't
ours
mind?
is like, we can do it in Chicago. You can do it you don't have to have an appointment. You can send it in.
Okay.
That's great, but you don't have
So
the document.
instead of traveling, we can
Mail
pay certified mail and send it.
Okay, well that's great, but I would wait to mail it in then until you have all of the information. So you're ahead of the game, which I love. Love the excitement. It's great.
I'm just so I will know before, because
yes, 100%. Yes, you will know all that information. So like you can start filling out some of it right now. Is it digital or is it print?
Yeah,
I'm assuming
digital.
it's print.
So I was just going through
Oh,
it.
okay.
That helps. I
Gotcha.
didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
We'll
better
send you
to
all
send
that.
everything when you have it all together, And just, if it makes you feel better, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've never seen a student getting a visa denied, except, well, that wasn't even a visa denied. It was like the one time the mom of the student kind of lost it at the consulate and started yelling at the official government clerks, and they asked her to leave the consulate. Wow. She was not able to apply, but that was just so just as a general reminder, maybe it's a little basic, but just just don't yell at government staff when you go to the consulate. But other than that, all our students have received their visa. They might give you more of a headache than others, but they all receive it at the end of the day. We play this game every semester where they they come up with new requirements that are not listed on the website, and they're like, what is that listed? They're like, oh, we just came up with it. We're like, okay. So we just have to take deep breaths, and again, just provide what they need. It's usually going to be something that you have already provided, but in another format, just because they like to have fun with it for some reason. Twisted minds of the Spanish government staff. Don't take it personally.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
This is helpful too on the visa guide, the last page or 2 pages on here. It gives explicit instructions on how to fill out the visa application form. So if any student is going through that and has questions, reference this first.
Are there any other questions before we sign off? If
you guys are going to have a great time. It's going to be awesome. It's so worth it. Once you're there, you forget about all these painful processes.
It's true.
I guarantee.
I've suppressed the memory of getting my visa, so.
Same.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you guys for coming. If you don't have any questions, feel free to leave. We'll stay on for another few minutes just to answer any one-off questions that you have. And again, good luck. We're here for you to support you as much as we can, and we're super excited. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Adios.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.